December in New York.
And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the dark green trunks. He went in officially at even 201 pounds. His professional record.
Is there any time frame that you're going to come back, or do you have any information at all?
I mean, I'm trying to get out as soon as possible. I want to be extremely active. Last year I only had 2 fights, and one of those fights lasted 1 round. So I need to be active. I need to be out there. I'm trying to fight at least 3 times this year. I'm in the prime of my career. I'm 30 years old now. I got a couple more years of prime time fight left in me, so I got to get it all out there right now.
A lot of people want to see you and Jamal Charlo. You probably heard that a million times.
Yep.
If that fight presents itself, is that a fight that you would want? Obviously, there's a title on the line.
Absolutely. Charlo is he's a title holder, and he is more than beatable. You know, I don't really see what the hype is about that man, and I know that I would deal with him in the ring. So, you know, that is a fight that we're definitely looking to make at some point this year, and I'm excited, man.
And in the ring, we have Vidal Riley here with Abdullah. And Vidal Riley is a YouTube sensation. We've seen a lot of this in boxing lately, but he's an actual real fighter. He's been training for several years, not someone that just came into this sport 6 months ago or a year ago like some of these other guys. And you can kind of see just from his stance and the way he fights, he doesn't fight like a, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like a new guy that's just coming in at 25 years old and, hey, you know, I want to be a boxer.
Right, yeah. I mean, I actually spent a little bit of time with him. He was working with KSI before his fight, and we were hanging out in Vegas before he fought Logan Paul. Yeah, he is, you know, he's a serious guy. He's looking to really build on it. I think he's got 3 fights now. And, you know, he's taking it seriously. Obviously, KSI saw something in him to have him.
Nice right hand there.
There you go. You know, to have him in the camp. And, yeah, fellow Brit. So hopefully he comes in here and does the job here tonight.
And what's your opinion just on this whole thing? I know some boxers don't really like, not so much him, but some of the KSI, the Logan Paul, were like, oh, they're not real boxers. They didn't put in time like us. But they're bringing new eyes to the sport. Whether they're good boxers or not, you're getting new fans. And to me, it seems like that's always good to bring new eyeballs.
Yeah, so there's 2 sides to the argument. I mean, you got the purists, you got the die-hard, hardcore boxing fans who hate to see, you know, fighters who haven't dedicated themselves to the sport come in and make all this money. And then you have the fighters themselves who probably look at them and say, hey, you know, I've trained my whole life and I'm not making a fraction of what you're going to make in your one fight, and I haven't made that in my entire career. So you've got that argument. And then you've got, you know, the casual fans, the people that maybe don't follow the sport and who are now being drawn into the sport because of these, you know, social media stars getting into the ring, and it's introducing them to our sport. And on that basis, I say it's a good thing. You know, it transfers down to us, you know, the real fighters. You know, they're bringing in a whole new fan base, a whole new audience, a whole new money stream. And, you know, it's inspiring kids to get involved who would have never even looked at the sport of boxing. But because their YouTube stars are doing it, they're like, you know what, I'm going to try it, you know, and then I'm going to follow the real fighters and get involved and tune in and buy pay-per-view and go and see these fights in Vegas or whatever. So in that sense, I think it's a great thing.
We're on here with world champion Chris Eubank. For all the fans tuning in on the live stream, and you saw in this round, years old, you've won titles, but when you were younger on your way up, was it tough on you, just having that shadow?
Absolutely, it was extremely tough. You know, my first pro fight was on terrestrial TV in England on Channel 5. You guys don't have that out here, but in England it's
a big channel,
a huge channel. Yep. 2 million people, 2 million viewers in my pro debut. So you know what professional fighter does that in their first fight, unless they're coming off of, you know, winning an Olympic gold medal or something like that.
Oh, big right hand and left there. Not to cut you off.
No, it was a great shot. So yeah, there was a whole lot of pressure, and but I used it to my advantage. I knew that all eyes were on me. I knew that People expected so much of me, and it was either going to break me or make me, and it made me. I knew I couldn't let the legacy down, so it pushed me to fight harder, to train harder, to perform better, and the rest is history.
Yeah, because you're one of the most successful father-son duos we see a lot. I'm not going to say their names, but a lot of the sons just don't make it. They just fall completely flat.
If you're looking back through boxing history, it's probably like 95, 98% of every world champion who's had a son who stepped into the ring to try it themselves they're failed. So the odds were actually severely stacked against me. That was a good body shot. But we made it work. I wasn't doing it for money. I wasn't doing it for fame. I wasn't doing it because my father wanted me to do it or because he didn't want me to do it and I could prove him wrong. I love the sport. I love the competition. I love the grit and the tenacity that's needed to get through these fights. It's in my blood. And, I'm going to do it until the day that I can't do it.
When training here in Las Vegas, there's a lot of top fighters. You're in the Mayweather gym a lot. What do you think of Kevin Newman, who will be fighting on the Showbox card, opening it up here in a few minutes?
Very talented kid. Sparred with him for years and years at Floyd's and all over the Las Vegas gym circuit. We've trained a lot together. So I know what he's made of. He's very talented, and if he puts his mind to it, he can really be a real force in his weight division, that's for sure. And
you've been fighting at 168, at 160. Which is your ideal weight? If you could get the biggest fight at your choice, what would you prefer to campaign at?
I mean, I was fighting at super middleweight for 3 years, not out of choice. I was kind of forced into it. That was where the big paydays were.
That very successful at it, by the way.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it was tough, but it was worth it. The big names.
You say you get a couple years older. It's 8 pounds. It's not like you're going in the lower weights, 3 pounds, 4 pounds. It's a big difference.
I mean, the thing is, fighting at super middleweight for the last 3 years, I was having breakfasts and eating all the way up until the weigh-in. I was never a real 168 pound fighter. And even on the night, I would never put any more weight on. I would come into the ring at 168. Whereas, you got these guys, they're blowing up to 170, 180, 190. They're putting on 20 pounds before they get into this. I was fighting some big dudes. So now that I'm down at 160, I put on like the 8 pounds after the weigh-in. And it's a much fairer opportunity for me to be fighting against these guys who are my own natural weight. So I'm happy with it.
We're here with Chris Eubank Jr. We have Vidal Riley taking on Muhammad Abdullah here in a cruiserweight bout, and it looks like so far Vidal's having his way pretty much every round.
Yeah, he's dominating, moving forward. He's the more active fighter, the more aggressive, throwing more combinations, a lot of good body shots, which is very impressive for a fighter who hasn't had, the amount of fights for the fights that he's had. He's only had 3 or 4 fights. So the fact that he's going to the body is very impressive, because usually it takes a long time to do stuff like that. So, this is it's an impressive performance so far.
And last week had the biggest heavyweight fight since probably Lewis and Tyson. What did you think of the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury?
I thought it was a great fight. It was unexpected, that's for sure. I did not see it going that way. Obviously, as a fighter, people always ask me, who's going to win. I want to bet on, I want to put some money on who you think is going to win. And I'm not going to lie, I was telling people I thought that Wilder would do it. The 2 knockdowns in the first fight, I thought he would. He had his range now, and he would be able to connect and take Tyson out. But Tyson had different plans. He put on the extra weight, and he imposed his will from round 1. He ran at him, didn't let him get into his rhythm. Took his spirit away from the very first second of the first round, and that extra weight. I think what was he, like 40 pounds heavier? It was
273, I think, versus like 230.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a massive
232, something like that.
That is a massive weight difference. Obviously Wilder is a big boy, but he got bullied, man. He got bullied, and Tyson Fury amazing performance.
Well, UK boxing is on fire. Hopefully you're up next. Hopefully you get the fight you want. It's been a pleasure having you on here. And hopefully you're announcing that next fight soon.
Okay, I appreciate it, man.
Chris Eubank Jr., thank you. Here's round 4 of a bout that Vidal Riley has just been dominating. Muhammad Abdullah is taking some big shots, stayed on his feet, but so far has been getting badly outclassed. We want to thank Chris Eubank Jr. again for spending a few minutes with us. Talk about the fight. You heard him. He wants Jermall Charlo next. WBC middleweight champion, Jermall Charlo. This is the 4th and final round. We're here at Samstown Live, Mayweather Promotions. Nice right hand there by Riley. You see for the cruiserweight division, Riley's very fast. Nice combination punch there. Oh, a couple nice shots there by Muhammad Abdullah. Vidal Riley goes to the body. See Abdullah trying to take the fight to Riley there. Now Riley's back to the ropes. Nice left hand there from Riley. But Abdullah's unfazed and comes forward and landed a couple of his own. Riley with a few punches of his own before he gets tied up there. There's a 10-second bell. Riley's going for it. And that's it. Fight's over.
After 4 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges, Ricardo Ocasio, Adelaide Bird, and Chris Migliori, scored the contest 40-37. All for your winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated from London, England, Vidal Riley.
I think they said 40-37, but that probably was 40-36. I don't see how Abdullah won any of the rounds. So with that victory, Vidal Riley is now 4-0 with 2 knockouts. Muhammad Abdullah falls to 4-2-1. Up next, Ladarius Memphis Miller takes on Marcos Jimenez.